And then just for logistical reasons and stuff, can you say your full name, spell it for me, and give me your full title, please?
Ven Johnson, V as in Victor, E-N, Johnson, Johnsson, president of Ven Johnson Law, PLC.
All right. So as you are aware, the GRPD has finally released the name of the officer involved in the shooting death of Patrick Lyoya today. First and foremost, what does this release mean for the family?
Well, the family is understandably incredibly upset. The city of Grand Rapids, from the day of this happened, has publicly been telling people that they're going to be fully transparent in all of this. It took 3 weeks for the Grand Rapids Police Department to release the name of an officer who literally at the second of the shooting, they knew was involved in an officer-involved shooting. By definition, they knew. So why did it take 3 weeks? It's horrible precedent. I can tell you that nowhere else, I've been doing this type of work for over 30 years, have they ever taken this long. And you see the GRPD is taking care of its own before the health and mental I'll call it well-being of the victim's family. So yeah, to me, it's absolute insult to injury.
All right. And then to expand on that a little bit, we talked about what meant to the family. What do you think it means to the community, specifically the community around where he was murdered, and then also just the community in Grand Rapids as a whole?
Well, the same answer. One of the problems that we've had in America, in addition to bad enough that we're shooting unarmed people, but especially just in a disparate manner, of course, people of color, what we see in the aftermath are a bunch of city officials saying we're going to be transparent, and then they go and don't be transparent. In fact, quite the opposite. They hide the name for literally 3 weeks. So this is a problem that we all need to face, right? That there is a problem with people of color being disparately discriminated against and shot and killed by officers, especially in the event that there is a resisting situation, even if it's non-lethal resisting, in other words, just hands and so forth, trying to run away versus having a deadly weapon, which my client didn't have. But then on top of it, to add insult to injury to the public, they treat this entirely different than any other type of investigation. You all in the news know the name of a suspect the second that they know who the suspect is, and they bring him or her in for either questioning or for have a warrant for their arrest, if you will, but not when it comes to a police officer. So honestly, I think it's horrible. I think it looks and it smells. It doesn't pass the smell test. And I think that if the city of Grand Rapids is going to start being transparent, then they need to start 3 weeks too late.
All right. Well, to add to that, you were talking about already how the officer's name has been withheld for far too long. Do you have any sort of idea why that is exactly? Why do you think that they were withholding the name?
Because they wanted to. Short answer, they decided to. I had folks last week at the funeral asking me, then this can't be the law. They have to be in violation of a law. There is no law that says when the police have to release this, because they're the ones who usually go and investigate, arrest somebody, and then take it to the prosecutor. The prosecutor, Mr. Becker, knew this name 3 weeks ago. What are we doing? So the answer is, this is a really very bad showing on behalf of the city of Grand Rapids. And again, I hear them say that they want to be transparent, but their words speak louder than action.
All right. And then you spoke about this sets a bad precedent. What is the normal precedent for this type of thing, if there is one? Because you mentioned there's no laws involving it exactly.
Yeah, there is no law that says when they have to advise the public of public information. Sad that we would have to have a law. But there is none. I can just tell you that, again, I've done police involved shootings for almost my entire career, over 30 years. And this is the longest that I've ever seen anybody take in releasing it. And it's wrong. This officer is clearly being investigated. The Michigan State Police are investigating him. Have they talked to him? Have they not? We have no information whatsoever. In a normal investigation, you'd at least have some information about what's going on. So yeah, this is yet another example that I think that the Grand Rapids Police Department, at least so far, have been more interested in taking care of their own than they have about being transparent with the public, and even more importantly, the family of the victim.
All right, and then I don't know if you can speak to this at all. In any pending cases that may be coming up involving the shooting death of Patrick Lyoya, but does this late naming of the officer being withheld this long affect any possible civil or criminal cases moving forward? If you can speak to that.
Yeah, short answer is no. The Michigan State Police knew who he was 3 weeks ago when he shot this person, and Grand Rapids asked MSP to come in and investigate. So they already knew who they were going to have to talk to. Question is have they already or not? I would think so, but I don't know. And then in terms of the civil case, had we wanted to file the civil case on the day of the shooting, once we had this video evidence, in our opinion, we had enough evidence to do that. We did not. We could have filed the case against what's Officer John Doe. We did not. We were waiting. But again, Grand Rapids keeps telling us that they're going to be transparent and share the information to the public. So we took them at their word. And to us, it's, we believe, just 3 weeks too late.
Speaking of the transparency, so with the release of all of the footage of the shooting, do you believe that that was done in a timely manner and transparent of Chief Winstrom, or was that also?
We don't have all the video footage. I'm sure you guys don't either. So the answer is they have to produce that, and that's why we'll be serving them with a Freedom of Information Act request soon. They won't give it to us without that typically, and they have it here. So all the public knows is what Grand Rapids is telling them they have, right? So they have a lot more video footage than we've seen. Now, of the actual shooting, I can't answer that because I don't know what I haven't seen, right? But when we get to the bottom of it and get all of it, we will certainly share it with you folks, I can assure you.
All right, and so from top to bottom, you're basically saying that the Grand Rapids Police Department has not been transparent, even though they've claimed to be during this process.
Absolutely, 100%. And again, words speak louder than action.
All right, and then do you believe that the release of the officer's name will put him in jeopardy at all, being the fact that the press around this case continues to grow and it gets national media attention, that might have been a reason that they withheld it, or that he might be in danger now in the future?
Well, first and foremost, on behalf of the old family and Ben Crump and me, we would absolutely never want anyone to do anything to this officer. The family has retained us specifically to handle it under the law, according to the law. Criminal action first, and Mr. Becker is going to have to make that call, and maybe somebody else like Attorney General Nessel, if Becker says no, and then the civil case. So we're doing it the right way. My clients have insisted on it, and absolutely, in terms of anything to do with protests and so forth, I know you've heard us. We've openly said it repeatedly on behalf of the family and Ben Crump and me, and that is, we want nothing but absolute nonviolent protest. We don't want anybody to do anything against the law. So would they use that as an excuse? I'm sure they have and would. They certainly didn't have that problem releasing Patrick's name, and he wasn't dead for the first week following the shooting. He unfortunately, we now know, was brain dead, but he was not dead. And his name was all over everywhere as the involved individual. So, they didn't have a problem doing that. So, yeah, you got to ask yourself, use the word transparency. Show me, not just tell me.
All right. And then is there anything else that you'd like to add about this, the officer's name being released? Anything that you have upcoming, or any sort of press conferences or anything regarding this?
No, I just hope that City of Grand Rapids is 100% transparent in speaking about this officer's background, as we know that they have been about Patrick's, criminal history and things in his life. So I'm sure that they'll be transparent about that, not.
Well, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate you coming on with me. And yeah, if there's anything else you wanted to add here in the last little bit, feel free.
I think you got enough there, brother. Thanks, man.
All right. Sounds good. Nice talking to you. Have a good one.
You too, buddy.
Thanks.